Lovely. So, I'd like to welcome Joe Kelso and Karen Workman, who will be delivering this webinar today. Please do participate and enjoy, and I hope you all get a lot out of it. So I'm going to switch my mic off now and hand over to Joe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Esther. Good afternoon, everybody. So, straight into the CPD programme. Following the review of qualifications in 2012, a number of recommendations were put forward as suggestions to improve the learning, development, education and training offer for Wales. The recommendations were accepted by Welsh Government, and a period of review has resulted in a number of changes. In brief, the changes that relate specifically to post-16 providers are the introduction of a new GCSE in numeracy to complement the existing GCSE in mathematics, revised Welsh and English GCSEs, a revised Essential Skills Wales suite with new assessment methods, removing continuous and formative assessment and portfolio production, and introducing a more robust summative assessment, and a revised Welsh Baccalaureate with a desire to see it as the common curriculum vehicle across post-16. We're using the metaphor of the perfect storm to show you how we pass through the changes that affect the curriculum and move into a future where the CPD supports you to ride the storm and move into confident, calmer times. Although this Welsh Government-sponsored project is being run by ColegauCymru, we have designed the programme to appeal to and to support all of our colleagues in post-compulsory learning, training and development. We've invited a wide range of colleagues to this web conference and would like you to take just a couple of seconds to let us know which sector you represent. You're going to see a poll in front of you now, so please select the sector that you belong to, and you can see, yep, very interesting data starting to generate in front of us. Another couple of seconds. Okay, thank you very much for that. So we can see work-based learning, key forerunner in this. We'll make sure that we change the presentation in such a way as to make sure that we keep interest throughout for all of you. Thank you very much for that. The connection between the qualification changes post-16 in the review of qualifications is the focus on skills. Rather than having different solutions for different sectors, the vision is to have the same 7 skills reinforced across sectors and joining up the work on skills pre-16. The key focus for our profession is to have a sound understanding of the different assessment methodologies that have been developed for different types of learners and settings. The CPD programme investigates the requirements of the assessment methodology that relates to specific types of learner, whether that be an apprentice on a work-based learning programme, a full-time FE learner, an adult enhancing their skill set via community learning, a GCSE reset student, or a young person investigating their future options via traineeship. It also supports practitioners to develop a broader pedagogy and range of skills themselves in order to provide their learners with the best teaching, learning and assessment experience they can. Communication and literacy. Well, this appears in the new GCSEs, Welsh and English, within essential skills in the essential communication skills, which we've refined from the current specifications, and of course within the Welsh Baccalaureate. Numeracy. Well, it headlines as the content for the all-new Wales Numeracy GCSE. It's found within the essential application of number skills qualification, again, like ECOMS, refined from the earlier version, and within the Welsh Bac. Digital literacy, our world-leading replacement for ICT, which is available as a standalone qualification, essential digital literacy skills, and within the Welsh Bac. DL is a theme which runs throughout all of the CPD alongside the employability skills strands as we work to prepare our learners for sustained engagement with employment in satisfying, challenging careers. Critical thinking and problem solving. The first of the themes to emerge from the legacy wider key skills. This forms part of the holistic essential employability skills qualification and is found within all of the improved GCSE programmes and Welsh Baccalaureate. Planning and organisation. Basically developing the ability to get things done. This is the second strand to essential employability skills and has retained many of the best features from the wider key skills qualifications. Creativity and innovation. The introduction of this strand within essential employability skills has permitted fun and exploration back into the skills curriculum, promoting the benefits of collaborating and looking for alternative solutions to tasks, again taking the best aspects of wider key skills into the future. Personal effectiveness, the final strand in EES, and again a recurrent theme across GCSE and Welsh Bac. The focus on developing and being able to apply transferable skills, which will be assessed as team working and individual effectiveness across all qualifications. To summarise, the skills which are assessed via the range of qualifications colleagues in post-16 education now have at their disposal. In front of you now, you will see a couple of number lines. What we'd like you to do is make a mark on those number lines about how confident you feel about the preparedness for the challenges that the new qualifications provide for your learners. If you can do that on the top number line, please. And how confident you feel about your own preparedness for the challenges on the lower line. Remember, if you're using a mobile version, you need to tap the slide frame to get access to the pen tool and make your mark. Okay, so I can see that your learners, you don't feel have yet got the skill set, so hopefully these qualifications are going to give them those skills. And for yourselves, you certainly look as though you're up for the challenge. You've got a good range of confidence levels there on the more positive side of the number line, so absolutely fantastic response. I'll give it another few seconds to capture so we can keep this for forever. That's fantastic, thank you. So the sky starts to lighten up with the CPD programme. The programme itself is modular. We've got 2 mandatory modules and the opportunity to then pick and mix further CPD from the remaining modules. We are going to make it available to you through a range of blended learning options, e-learning as well as some face-to-face delivery. It's really what works best for each of the bits that we're covering. The CPD is contextualised, innovative, and it has been informed by effective teaching, learning and assessment principles. It's been developed and road tested by practitioners across Wales as we apply and share best practice. It's been quality assured through work with practitioners, the University of South Wales, awarding organisations and ourselves as part of ColegauCymru. And it is designed to complement and supplement the currently available CPD and materials such as practitioner qualifications, training by awarding organisations and West resources. The aims of the programme are to prepare individuals for the significant changes to the curriculum and qualifications. We want to develop knowledge and skills through study that relates directly to the new qualifications. We also want to promote best practice in motivating and inspiring learners whilst ensuring that they make the progress that they require and attain their qualifications. And of course we want to continue to build the capacity of the post-16 education workforce. Doing all of this helps us to support Welsh Government's Qualified for Life agenda and move forward the recommendations outlined by Donaldson in Successful Futures. This is all designed to bring you out the other side of the storm and into that positive future. So who's it for and how are we going to be assessing it? It's for all of those working within the post-16 sector, including leaders so they understand the context better, lecturers, assessors and support staff. The assessment methods will reflect on the aims and the content of each module. This is professional development, so it's all about developing that professional dialogue and professional reflection peer assessment and teaching observations, all key elements. So on to the modules themselves. You may struggle to see some of these titles, but you will have access to these on the slide deck that we're going to make available to you, and within Moodle, which you'll find out a little bit about later. Module 1, working with a new specification, is all studied online. It allows you to achieve a full understanding of the new specifications. It also develops the CPD rationale and the needs of your learners, and explores the CPD modular approach that we've put together for you better. Module 2, where we look at skills assessment, allows us to use and evaluate WEST. It also allows us to look at other assessment methods and tools in addition to WEST, and allows us to confidently assess personal skills in relation to teaching, learning and assessment. You'll also be then able to produce a personal action plan for your own skills development. Following the completion of modules 1 and 2, you're then in a position to select modules or units from the remaining modules that are most relevant to your subject specialism and professional practice, which will then support you to meet your organisation's requirements. Being a reflective practitioner is a blended learning module where you will have access to a resource bank for subject-specific pedagogy and its development. Also access subject-specific pedagogy training. We'll reflect on our own practice and look at best practice, and provide effective teaching and learning for bilingual and multilingual learners. We'll also have a very key focus on developing our use of digital literacy. In Module 4, we move on to building the subject-specific skills, again using a blended model. You'll use the resource bank for subject-specific skills development, access subject-specific skills training, and reflect again on your own practice and best practice and borrow from that. In Module 5, it's really focusing on how we achieve success for our learners, again using a blended learning process. We explore the assessment requirements in the new qualifications, and we look at how our solutions can contribute to a whole organisational approach. We prepare you for preparing your learners for assessment, and we really focus in on how to best motivate your learners and get to know them better. A more in-depth explanation on all of these modules will be found within Module 1. The CPD programme aims to assist identified staff in your organisation to navigate the perfect storm. Finally, to gain maximum benefit and effectiveness from the CPD programme, it should be delivered in a way that fits your organisation's planning and quality processes. It should be contextualised in a way that complements and strengthens these existing processes. Delivered in an effective and timely way, the CPD will act as a link between the change agenda and the organisation's systems to achieve success. Thanks for listening to me so far, and I will now hand over to Karen Workman, who will introduce Moodle to you.
Hello everybody, and thank you, Joe. As I said, I'm going to look through Moodle with you and show you how you will log on, because in order to take part in the CPD programme, as Joe has said, you will need a Moodle account, and modules 1 and 2 are all completed online. Just to check that you're all with us and that you're all following along, can you use your emoticons and give us a smiley face or a green tick, and we can just check that you're still hearing us and that you're still with us. So thanks Leanne and Natalie. Tammy's with us. Oh, we're getting quite a few now. So we can see some people are putting their hands up. Thank you, Rian and Denise. Alison, I think the majority of people are with us. So I think we'll carry on and have a brief look at Moodle. Because you are with us in the webinar, that does mean that you have registered online for the CPD programme, which means you will have a Moodle account. We haven't sent the usernames out yet, but if you check your emails after the webinar, you will be getting your usernames and passwords sent to you. So you can have a try later today or when you're more comfortable and you're not teaching or working. Oh, Esther's off to work we go, yes. Oh, Doug, yes, okay. Right, so you'll see on your screen now there's a web address, moodle.colegaucymru.ac.uk. That's what you'll type into your address bar to access the Moodle. I'm just going to be using screenshots today. So when you have typed that in, you should see the page that's appearing in front of you now, and you should be able to see a big purple arrow pointing to a login with a key. I know it's quite small perhaps on some of your screens. That's where you will click, which will take you to this page. Now when you have your username, you'll see that you've got two lines. You can see that I've typed in my username, karen.workman@colegaucymru.ac.uk, and underneath I've typed my password. Once you have typed in your username and password, which again, just to remind you, we will be sending to you later today, you then click on the turquoise circle. It feels sometimes you want to click on login as a guest. Don't do that because you can't access the course if you log in as a guest. You definitely need to click on the turquoise circle. Once you've done that, the very first time you log in to the ColegauCymru Moodle, you'll see this next screen. That's because I've set everybody with a generic password, but you now need to choose one that only you will know. Bringing in a little bit of digital literacy, because if you know me, you know that's my passion. When you're choosing a password, make it something that you can remember easily, but not your date of birth, not your pet's name, or any part of your name. Choose your password, type it in again to confirm, and then every other time that you log in to the ColegauCymru Moodle, you will use your username and the new password that you've just created. Don't worry if you do forget that, it's not a problem. You just need to email me. Esther, perhaps if you can type in my email address in the chat pane. You can see it on the screen if you've got very good eyesight. It's karenworkman7@gmail.com. So if you forget your password, or in fact if you have any other trouble with Moodle, just drop me a quick email. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I think Esther's just typing in the chat pane my email address. She is. She's confirming that she is doing it. I'll just move on to the next slide. So once you've changed your password, you will see this page. Now, you can see that the purple arrow at the top of the page, I've clicked on my username and it gives me a drop-down menu. The top option is My Dashboard. Now that will bring up all the courses that you've been enrolled on. We are intending to enrol everybody on the Essential Skills CPD program and the GCSE. It's up to you where you feel your specialism lies. You might want to dip into both courses, but you might want to just choose one of them. For the screenshot that I'm going to show you in a moment, I've just chosen the Essential Skills CPD program. You can see it says Post 16 Quals ES CPD program. It's got a big purple arrow pointing to it. If you're successfully getting through that page, you'll be taken to the course. So this is the start of your CPD program. These are your online modules. You'll be looking at the introduction page, which is the screenshot that you can see now. If you're familiar with Moodle, you might be quite familiar with the tabs and how you work through the course. If you're not, you can see that there are a lot of grey boxes at the top of the screen saying Introduction, Module 1, Module 2. They're available in both Welsh and English, which is why you have two tabs saying Module 1. But you will work through, read the introduction. That will basically go over what Joe's been telling you earlier about why we're doing the CPD and how it was put together. And then if you work your way through Module 1, you have a little bit of reading of the new specifications for the qualifications that are most relevant to you. You'll also be asked to complete some tasks, and you will be asked to submit them on Moodle, and that's just a chance for you to become that reflective practitioner. So you'll just be looking through how you feel these changes are going to impact on you, your learner and the organisation. You'll then go on to Module 2, and that gives you the opportunity to interact with the West assessment tool. And it's at this point we're going to move away from Moodle, because Joe in a moment is going to take you through how to access West. I realise I've given you a whistle-stop tour on how to get into our Moodle course. Hopefully when you go back you can either listen to the webinar, you can look at the slide deck that we sent out just before the webinar started. But if you can use your markers now, oh brilliant, somebody's feeling confident. And if you can mark how you're feeling about using Moodle. That's great, we've got a lot of confidence going on. We've got a few people that are interested. That's good. Oh, that's great. Who's really excited? That was a very large tick for being excited. And we've got a couple of people that are feeling curious about Moodle. But as I said, what we don't want you to do is go away and feel worried about this. If you have any questions about Moodle, or you think you followed it now and then you click on the first time and it doesn't look like you expect, if you just drop me an email, Esther has very kindly put my email address into the chat pane. So if you just want to drop me an email, I'll respond to you. Oh, me, it's Neil that's really excited. That's brilliant. Great to welcome you on board, Neil. I'm just going to hand back to Jo now and she's going to take you through West.
Thank you very much for that, Karen. Okay, many of you are likely to be quite familiar already with West, but as a practitioner, not a learner. The CPD programme has arranged for a learner account to be made available for you. This is going to enable you to not only test your own skills in a confidential way, but also reflect on the learner's experience of using digital initial and diagnostic tools. The profile that you will generate when using the tool will further enhance and refine your action plan relating to any specific skills that you want to improve. No one will access your account, so it will be completely up to you whether or not you choose to share the outcomes that you generate. The tool can be found by searching in any search engine. The terms Wales Essential Skills, Wales Essential Toolkit or ESW Toolkit will generally take you towards your destination. So follow the link to the West homepage and you'll be welcomed in both Cymraeg and English and invited to enter the site. The whole tool is available via a web service, so no special equipment or downloads are required for standard interaction and use of the tool. When using your learner account for the first time, enter the site by selecting your preferred language, and then further visits can be made by accessing the returning learner link. To make navigation to the tool easier in the future, you could bookmark this landing page inside your browser. You probably noticed that there's a link to a screener on the landing page. It doesn't require a login. For the purposes of the CPD, you do need to log in. Your details will be sent to you via email, so please refer to them for your specific login details. Your username will follow the format. It'll start with 2 capital letters, C's, that's for ColegauCymru. It will then be followed by an underscore and your first and last name concatenated with a capital letter for both name initials. As well as wanting to provide you with a confidential account for West, the tool is unable to have the same email account attached to a tutor and a learner account type. This is why we asked you for a personal email address when you're enrolled via the Google form. Don't try and select your actual organisation for this account, as you will then not log in to the learner account. Instead, navigate using the drop-down list to the ColegauCymru CPD West and sign in. It's probably very, very minuscule on your screen, but I can assure you it is there. Your password again will be provided in the email confirming your West account. You may already have received that, or it's going to arrive shortly following this web conference. Once you've successfully logged in, you'll find a dashboard with links to each of the skills tests. Apart from the initial assessment, which analyses current skills, the learner account profile also delivers a learning plan, which has been designed to help users develop the skills most needed. And once you've completed some of the learning plan, further diagnostic testing is undertaken using skills checks. These have been designed to give frequent feedback regarding progress and update the learning record profile. The images that you can now see just give a snapshot of the learning plan from the learner's perspective and learning record again from the learner's perspective. Probably quite familiar from the tutor's view, but this is nice to be able to look at it as a learner. The system provides straightforward links to follow for additional learning materials. If you're unable to take all of the initial assessment that you would like in one sitting, West will record how far you have travelled and restart from that point when you resume. So yeah, there's a question that's popped up in chat about digital literacy available as an initial assessment. The answer to that is correct. So any more questions, as Karen has said, please keep the questions coming. If you've already done an initial assessment, then the screen that you will be presented with, if you could just go back one, please, Karen, is like this, where instead of having take the test, it will say continue. That will then, depending on the stage in the initial assessment test you are, i.e. if you've completed it, you will continue into learning materials, which then form part of the diagnostic assessment, and if you are partway through the initial assessment, it will resume at the point at which you exited. Okay, Neil, I've got you asking, is it part of the CPD programme, as in digital literacy, the initial assessment? Yeah, we cover the whole of the learner journey. It's something that we're actually developing as our next webinar, which will be that we're looking at initial assessment, diagnostic assessment, formative assessment, the summative assessment as affected by the new qualifications and the various teaching and learning strategies that we're going to have to employ with that shift. And we're also keen to develop ipsative assessment so that we start to work with our learners for them to understand better their responsibilities when it comes to assessment and their own measure of success, etc. So Denise's question, should DL practitioners undertake the CPD, or is it aimed at communications and AON? This CPD is for anyone who's going to be delivering anything to do with essential skills. If you have got a specific leadership role with regards to digital literacy, then our advice would be that you undertake the Digital Literacy Practitioner Award, the same as we would if you were a specialist in comms, in number, or essential skills, where we've got people who are needing to be able to undertake lots of different essential skills and deliver lots of different essential skills. Then the ideal for them is to access this CPD to get a general understanding and then follow the Practitioner's Award for the specific skill that they specialise in. And we've got to have the links for the AON resources being fixed. That's a West issue. I'm not in a position to give you a meaningful answer on that one, I'm afraid to say, Lisa. But it's certainly something that we've got the ability to follow up. Oh, I see Katie is responding to that as we speak, so that's our team for you. Okay, if I just wait now for Katie's response. Marvellous, thank you very much, Katie. I'm sure that that will be appreciated by Lisa and everybody else who partakes. So then, we now are standing looking on tomorrow's horizon. So just to remind you, the CPD programme aims are to assist identified staff within your organisation to navigate the perfect storm. In order to gain maximum benefit and effectiveness from the CPD, it should be delivered in a way that fits your organisation's planning and quality processes. It should be contextualised in a way that complements and strengthens these existing processes. Delivered in an effective and timely way, the CPD is going to act as a link between the change agenda and your organisation's systems to achieve success, because that's what we want for all of our learners. So what next? Well, if you have enrolled via the Google form, you're going to be provided with an account for Moodle and for West. If you've not, then please get in touch with either somebody in your centre, if you've got a regional lead there, or Karen or myself, and we'll make them available to you. And then you need to go and access modules 1 and 2 online. Now, we have got some time for any further questions, so please do take the opportunity. We've got a couple of people who are currently typing. Okay, Alison, how do you envisage the face-to-face training working workshops? More than one on the same subject to follow for geography and availability? A fantastic question. Thank you for that, Alison. What we have decided at this point, and this is based on feedback from the regional teams that have been operating for some months now, is that where it comes to something that's very specific or a new skill or something that needs investigation with regards to pedagogy, then we will be putting on face-to-face sessions, because having that ability to sit down with each other and have a discussion and investigate rather than just cover a fixed agenda is absolutely invaluable for people. Where we are just disseminating information that is universal truth type stuff, then we will use this technology wherever we possibly can, because we understand people are spread far and wide, and we want to keep time away from learners to an absolute minimum. So what we need to do is use the various solutions that are going to work for various organisations. We find that some organisations are a little bit more able to release people and therefore prefer a face-to-face option, and some aren't. And so, really it is a case of communicating back into myself and to Karen, etc., for us to be able to make something bespoke to meet your needs. How long will the CPD programme take? Well, we've cunningly designed it in such a way that it could take the 30 hours that most of our colleagues are now contractually obliged to satisfy within an academic period. So it could take up to 30 hours. Of course, it's a bit of a how long's a piece of string, because some people are only going to require modules 1 and 2. They then will assess their skills and not have any gaps that they wish to or feel that they need to work on. And so they'll spend a relatively short period of time. There'll be other people who are coming to curriculum for the first time who will want to spend as much time as they possibly can getting support from the CPD. So up to 30 hours we would expect. And Denise, will we be able to come out? Absolutely we can do. You just need to get in touch with us and we will arrange something. And of course, I believe that you're over in Ceredigion. The team in Ceredigion are really quite far advanced now with regards to the CPD. They've got some really good strategies in place, so we can make sure that everybody's aware of what's available locally. So fantastic. Yes, Vicky, we can, make those changes. In fact, we are doing that currently. It's kind of in the process, if you like. And I think that's all of the questions covered. It's scrolled. Okay, so if everybody's now satisfied that they've had an opportunity to ask everything they would like to ask, could you please indicate using an emoticon, little thumbs up symbol, that type of thing? Oh, sorry, got another question. Moodle will be available for future enrolment of staff. The project itself has been has got a shelf life, as have all things, and we are working towards an end of March deadline. So up until that time, it will definitely be available with the project team. Following that, if there is no continuation of the project, which is something that we're unsure of at this time, then what we will do is make it available on ColegauCymru's website, but it might not be maintained in the same way. So it's going to be there, but it could be that it's something that we are in a position to further enhance, and of course your staff can continue to engage with it. Okay, so Denise, I've got another question. I think the first 2 modules may be of benefit to accreditation staff. Just need to understand, is that as in MIS and dealing with things on that side of accreditation, or is that as in staff who are responsible for delivering accredited programs? Thank you, Rian and Lisa. Observing work in the classroom, etc. Also support staff, absolutely. The whole focus on the CPD is understanding that those skills are things that need to be reinforced by every professional that ever interacts with a learner. So everybody in an organisation is ideal for this type of CPD, because we're just trying to make literacy, numeracy, digital literacy and employability skills everyday interactions for learners, so that in due course their confidence grows with them so much that they're transferring these skills without making obvious effort to do so. So that would be ideal for them as well, Denise. Okay, so I think we've got most of the questions covered. Thank you, Denise. So what I'd like to do now is just hand back to Esther for a moment, and thank you very much for your participation this afternoon.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you, Karen. On behalf of all of us, I'd like to say thank you very much for a really interesting and interactive web conferencing experience. And I'd like us all to show our appreciation to Karen and Joe, please, by using the emoticons, which are up the top there, maybe giving them a smiley face or a bit of an applause or something along those lines, just for us to say thank you very much to them for all the hard work that they've put into this web conference today, and there'll be many more of them to come, which they're very excited about doing with you. So thank you very much to everybody for coming. Thank you for participating, and I hope you enjoyed the experience. The session has been recorded. I'm just going to stop the recording now.